You tuned in to the Iceman Show. I am your host, the Iceman. More bounce to the ounce, and I say what counts. Don't nobody go home until the fat man gets it in. What's happening, chocolate people? Coming to you live from Iceman Studios, somewhere in America. Let's go ahead and get this party started. Let's get it crack-a-lacking. As you know, only the Iceman can do. We ain't gonna be on here too long. That's why I'm starting early. Usually I try to let the theme song play for a minute until we can get more people in the room. But at the same time, I want to, I haven't eaten yet, so I want to make sure I get my chow down done before it gets too late. As a matter of fact, give me a second. What up, Triple T Kill? What up, baby? What's happening with you? What's crack-a-lacking? Yes, sir. You know how we do. You know. Where my South Central folks at? Where you at? Where my NYC folk at? Painless Rising. Man, I thought Sancho and Maria and them done kidnapped you down there in Stank Antone. Yeah, Fiesta. Hey, I used to, you know what? That's the only thing San Antonio got popping, man. That and Riverwalk. That's it. They ain't got nothing else going. They have nothing else going on. You digs? What up, baby doll? What's cracking with you? I see them lips. What's happening with you? He said, stand 10 toes down. What's up, baby? What's happening with you? Man, San Antonio, a lot of people don't know, man. San Antonio is one of the saddest cities. For a city that's the 7th largest city in the country, it is the most backward city in the country. Backwards. And I mean, like, you digs? And for a black, especially, and I'm gonna tell you right now, the only black men who can semi-tolerate San Antonio are veterans. That's let me tell you something. I give San Antonio credit. It's a non-stop shop if you a vet. If you a disabled vet, retired vet, it's you might be able to tolerate it. But still, you see how many times I've moved in and out of there. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you right now, the one thing that really drives me crazy about San Antonio, and I know they'll never fix it, is the theme of the city is poverty. And until they get away from that and do to San Antonio what they did in Austin, in Dallas and Houston, And now Austin, San Antonio will never retain the kind of decent black folks like you and I. They'll never, and I'm going to tell you right now, the only black men that I know that still stay in San Antonio are vets. And the number one reason why they're still there is because they bought a house. That's the only reason why they still live there. Because I'm going to say this. Back in the mid 2000s, San Antonio was fun because the vibe was different. The vibe all over the country is different now. Everybody's getting tribal. Everybody's getting racially tribal. Everybody's getting, as far as gender is concerned, everybody's getting tribal. And sooner or later, this ain't just San Antonio. Sooner or later, there will be an explosion in this country. And I don't know whether it's necessarily going to be racial, but there will be an explosion in this country. And it ain't going to be started by us. I'm going to tell you who it's going to get started by. Tom and them. That's who's going to start it. You see what they did down there in New Zealand. You see what they did them guys did down there, right? And let me read what Painless Rising man, that is an accurate depiction of San Antonio women. Let me read what this brother essay is full of prostitute-minded women that like to drink, ignore their kids, and eat breakfast tacos every morning. Man, that's so true, man. But you know what, man? I got sick of Sancho and Maria and them. I got sick of them Marias down there, man. Because after you done ran through a few of them, you get tired of them. Because it's the same theme every time you meet a Hispanic woman in San Antonio. They want to, mi pobre, pobre Dios. I mean, it's just like, lady, I don't care what happened before I came along to dig you out. I don't care. All I need to know is are you going to give me $7 so I can go over here to Sugar's and get me a steak dinner? That's all I want to know. Hey man, I might just come down there next month just for Fiesta, man. Because I ain't gonna lie, Fiesta, if you come down, see, I came down one time, the first time I lived there after dealing with the military. I got down there during Texas relays in Austin, and then the next week Fiesta popped off. And I was like, I asked my uncle, I was like, man, what's this Fiesta thing? He was like, oh, dog, that's like they carnival, I guess. And he was like, man, he said, oh, the women gonna be out, man, but it might get to raining. Because I always seemed like it start raining around when Fiesta pop off. I'm like, because, yeah, I be in them streets when Fiesta pop off. The rest of the year, all right, man, I'm gonna hold you to it, player. Hey, Painless Rising. Hey, shoot me your email address, man. Email me at the Iceman Show at yahoo.com. Email me so I can get at you, man. Yeah, for sure. Hey, General Soul. Hey, I ain't had none of that in the while. Hey, I ain't been over there to the Chinese shack in a minute. So I ain't had no General Souls in a minute. For sure. Timmy Diamonds, what's happening, man? What's happening with your player? He said, I'm hanging by a string down here. Hey, man, let me tell you something, bro. Boy, San Antonio, it take a brother with a strong back. It take a brother with a strong back to deal with San Antonio, man. That place, it continues to go down every year. And it's sad because there's a lot of good brothers and sisters down there. It's a lot of good vets down there. And don't get me wrong, I like going over there to Alamo. I mean, what's it? What's that Alamo Draft House? The one that's over there by LOL. LOL. What's it? What is it called? LOL Comedy Club. What's that called? Park West or something like that. That little area right there. I like that little spot, man, because they got, it got the Alamo Draft House. You got all that stuff popping off around there. But like I said, man, I just got tired of dealing with them broke, just hopeless women, man. Just hopeless. Yeah, no, not just Stone Oak. Not just Stone. No, you know where I'm talking about? Over there by North Star Mall. Across from there. You know how they built they built that Alamo Draft House theater, and they got the LOL I think that's the name of it, the comedy club right there. Then they got a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, I like that little spot right there. I likes that. And I like the fact that, some of the places around San Antonio did give veterans a discount. You ain't got to beg for it. Like where I'm at right now, they, a lot of these places around here give veteran discounts. But I just don't eat out like I used to because I'm trying to get my weight back down. Now that the sun's starting to come out, man, I got to lose this weight. It's starting to come off. So, yeah, word up. But welcome to the Iceman Show podcast. I am your host, the Iceman, a.k.a. Sub-Zero, a.k.a. Scotty Pimpin', a.k.a. Denzel Snossington. Let's get serious for a minute, man. I know we've been clowning for a minute. By the way, everybody, this is $5 Donation Tuesday. You can hit me on the Cash App. My Cash App ID is $ the Iceman 1906, or you can donate on my website at asktheiceman.com. Scroll down to the donate button and donate your $5 there. We're just asking for a $5 donation. That's it. Let's raise $50 tonight. That ain't much. Okay? But it's something. Let's contribute. Let's keep the party cracking. You digs? So hit me on the Cash App or go to asktheiceman.com. Scroll down to the donate button and then go from there. As you guys are well aware, we have this college admission scandal. I know a lot of people are just now hearing about it or hearing about situations like this. And a lot of people are outraged. But what I'm going to drop on you tonight is going to let you know that you shouldn't be outraged. Okay? It's business as usual. That's how these people get down. And I'm going to explain how that is. The basic gist of this whole situation that you're getting from the lamestream media is that they were paying off-brand sports coaches like Water Polo, Raccoon Club, the Tiddlywinks Club. They were paying these coaches hundreds of thousands of dollars. As a matter of fact, they paid the assistant athletic director, they paid her over $1 million. Now, Lynn Swann over at, I'm talking about USC. I'm sorry. I'm talking about USC. Now, those of you who don't know it, former Pittsburgh Steeler, wide receiver, Hall of Famer, the great Lynn Swann is the athletic director for the USC Trojans. And it's kind of funny that Lynn Swann has that. I didn't know he was the athletic director at USC. I know he went to USC. I didn't know he was the athletic director. You know what's funny? You know who the athletic, you know who he took over from, right? Y'all know who he took. Where my old heads at? He took over for Pat Hayden, who they beat the snot out of in the Super Bowl back in, what, 79? Yeah, I'm still salty about that Super Bowl player. Okay? And it's funny how Lynn Swann is the athletic director at USC. He fired the assistant because it came out that they paid her over $1 million. Might have been more than that. You digs? And so they were paying these off-brand sports coaches hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably millions, in order for them to be off. What was happening is they would pay the coaches, then the coaches would give them a phony scholarship. And obviously, we're not just talking about USC. Let me just give you a handful of schools: Yale, University of Texas. Which I'm very aware of. The Longhorns, some other big schools, mainly big public and private schools with major sports programs, as well as Ivy League schools. So what they would do is the coaches would put in the system that they're offering this particular individual a scholarship. What happens is that once they fill out their application for admission and pay that fee, whatever it is, $150, $75, whatever it is, they would automatically get accepted because of that scholarship as long as they had the minimum requirements, which 10 times out of 10, they met those requirements. What would happen is that those students, even though their parents are upper class and ruling class level, that meant they would not have to pay tuition. I know your jaws are getting tight, but it gets worse. It gets worse. If you think this is egregious at the surface, brother, you better hold on to your hat and strap in, because the ride is about to get bumpy. Now, this scam was exposed by a snitch who got busted, and then he decided he was going to roll over on everybody. Where we come from, those of us who are from the hood, snitches don't have a special place in our hearts. And they actually don't with law enforcement. But law enforcement are willing to use these people as useful idiots. but it gets worse. Now, those of us who have gone to college, especially those of us who have graduated from college, this is really going to make you angry. Because this is the stuff they're not telling you. See, I always get under the issues, around the issues, and over the issues. Okay? Because that's why you tune in to the Iceman Show podcast during the week, and on the weekends, the Player Circle podcast. And by the way, the Player Circle podcast on Saturday, a lot of people have been asking me when I was going to do the Prince show. I'm going to do a full show on Prince, the man behind the mask. And I guarantee I'm going to give you information you ain't never heard or seen before. Plus, I have, sadly, I have footage of our brother deceased. You ain't gonna get that nowhere but here, because on TV they blocked it out. Well, where the information I got is not blocked out. Okay, so that's what's coming up this Saturday. If you are not subscribed to the Mad Voodoo Man channel on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, you're gonna miss it. I highly urge you to subscribe to my channel, the Mad Voodoo Man channel on YouTube. Okay? And here's how it's spelled. That's how it's spelled on YouTube. So do the search. My channel will pop up. Subscribe. That way you don't get left out. Because if you don't subscribe to my channel, you're gonna miss the show. And like I do at all my podcasts, depending on which ones they are, especially the Player Circle podcast, I usually just go ahead and set it to private. Because all these people who want to view the show, but they don't donate, I make sure I set it to private so they don't get a free viewing. The information is free. My time isn't. So that's what's cracking this Saturday. This Saturday, Prince, the man behind the mask. But this situation with the college admission scam is worse than I thought. And I knew it was going to be worse once I started doing some investigating. Now, the old black media, you ain't going to get that. You ain't going to get that information over there. You ain't going to get it on the fake news networks. You're only going to get it right here on the Iceman Show podcast or the Player Circle podcast. You digs? So that's a smidgen of the devilment that was cracking with these people. Now, they have singled out some actresses and some other public figures to parade out here and kind of dump everything on their heads. Let me explain something to you. The lies that you're hearing in the mainstream media are exactly that, lies. They're trying to act like this is only like 30 or 40 people. No. Go online and read that indictment. Go online and read that indictment. Some of the people, We talking about over 700 people. See, let me talk to black folks real quick. Let me say something to you, man. See, these are the kind of games these people play. While your parents are out there working 2 and 3 jobs, trying to help take care of you, and hopefully you go to college, you know, either getting Pell Grants and loans or just loans because your parents ain't got no money to send you to school. Or if they do, they just like, well, my parents didn't pay for my education, so I ain't paying for yours. Usually that's what black folks get half the time. The other half of the time, they just ain't got the money. But peep this. We're talking about over 750 defendants. And most of these people are multimillionaires. Matter of fact, almost all of them are. Isn't that, I want you to let that marinate for a second. Isn't that insulting? You work all your life to try to, you know, put food on the table and clothes on your back, and the same for your children and possibly a spouse. And you got these people out here, they already paid, and they, you know, some of these people are worth $100 million and they out here cheating. Yet let you or I sneeze wrong and they giving us 20 years in prison. Now this Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman, you know, Felicity Huffman's one of the best actresses out here. I had a lot of respect for her until this situation popped off. I was like, you got caught up? You put yourself in this situation, lady? Not smart. Not smart. Now, you notice every time a black, especially a black man, gets accused of a crime, they show his mug shot. Y'all notice that? Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin got arrested and they bonded out. Notice that the Caucasoid media did not show their mugshot. Just like this guy, one of the main guys that was down there in New Zealand, who shot them innocent people in those mosques down there. One of the newspapers had the nerve, I think it was the New York Post, or it was either that or the National Enquirer. They had the nerve to put a picture of this guy as a baby with his father holding him in his arms. Now, at first glance, you would probably think, well, what's wrong with that, Ice? Why you tripping? Let me explain the optics. They always do that. They're showing a baby picture of this guy so that people won't have the same vitriol that they have for him murdering people, that most of white America, as well as black female America, has for somebody like R. Kelly when they put his mugshot on the front of the newspaper. You see what they're doing? They're still trying to humanize an animal and a monster that murdered innocent people. But if a black man, or in some cases a black woman, stole a hot dog, They got your mug shot all over the New York Times, all over the LA Times, all over the Miami Herald, all over the Chicago Sun-Times, every newspaper, the Seattle Times, every newspaper and magazine in this country got your face on the front of it. But let one of their people who deserve to be marched out there in the court of public opinion, they do everything they can to cut them some slack and humanize these people when they should be demonizing them, because that's what that individual is who would go and do something like that to innocent people. I don't care if it was Caucasian Muslims. It don't matter what their race is, because you have to understand something. Whether it's the left-wing media or the right-wing media, they never put systemic racism on trial. You notice that. They never do that. They never do that. And that's by design. It is not an accident. Nothing these people do is an accident. And black folks, you have to start taking things for face value, for what they are. Demonize you, humanize them, no matter what they do. Even if you got arrested for defending yourself against one of these animals out here, they're still going to demonize you, because how dare you, black person, have the confidence in yourself and the survival skills to want to take one of their people out, when these people ran up on you acting like a fool. You see how they do? I want you to peep that for a second. They got this dude baby pictures on there like this. Like, look at this innocent guy. He never hurt nobody. But yeah, he don't murdered all them innocent people down there. And he had the nerve to reference several right-wing figures as well as some right-wing YouTubers. Follow me. This is what kind of evil you're dealing with. And this is why I get on black people so much, and I get especially these so-called, a lot of these traitorous black women. A lot of reason why I get on your case is because when I see that kind of stuff, and then you have the nerve to be out here celebrating R. Kelly getting in trouble, and I ask you, what if R. Kelly, what if the next R. Kelly is your son? Well, let's see if you're on Facebook trying to crucify or tell him R. Kelly got what he deserved. Let's see if you was your son or your brother. Let's see if you had the same vitriol. Let's see if you're gonna have the same vitriol, because I've seen it happen. That's why you can't be a traitor. You can't be a race traitor. You can't be a black feminist, because that's an oxymoron, because feminism is born out of systemic racism. So for you to represent feminism, that means you actually represent systemic racism, and you need to be on the firing line because you're dangerous, and you need to be dealt with because you're a threat to yourself. You don't have the sense enough to realize you're a threat to yourself, you're a threat to your children, and you're a threat to the rest of us. That's why I don't cut y'all no slack. And just like what they did with Bill Cosby, because really it's not the crimes. They don't care nothing about those black girls who are now women who were done like that by their parents and R. Kelly. They don't care nothing about you, and they don't care nothing about them. They just want to use R. Kelly because that's the target. Like I told y'all with Me Too and Time's Up, the target ain't Harvey Weinstein. The targets are black men. That's the indirect target. Because if you look around, ain't nobody going to court, ain't nobody going to jail but black men. And that's not by accident. So when you're out here celebrating R. Kelly, you're actually, next time it might be your son. Let's see how you act then. Because I've seen black women talk that yin yang, and then as soon as they son get caught selling drugs, then here they go, oh, they gonna give my son 30 years. I'm like, you know what? That's what you get. You was out here talking about somebody else's son need to go to jail. Now your son going to jail for the rest of his life. Good. Let's see how you feel about that now. You coward. Let me turn this heat off. This cheating scandal goes so deep. And here's how deep it goes. See, black people, we're considered the moral police. And what these other folks do is they say, okay, you black folks be the moral police, we'll get the bag. You can be moral and you can, talk about how you got beaten Selma and all this kind of stuff and all this civil rights nonsense. You can talk all that. We'll get this money. See how that works? We'll let you black folks be the moral folks. We'll be the rich folks. We'll be the wealthy folks. While you're sitting around talking, wagging your finger, talking about what's right and wrong, we'll be getting that bag. I wish I would have figured that out earlier in life. Okay? Because a lot of you, I used to be a Democrat. Like a lot of you, I used to vote. Now I don't do none of that. Because now I realize where my attention needs to be paid. It needs to be paid on trying to get that bag. Okay? So these people have no problem cheating. As a matter of fact, that's all they do is cheat. Because they know if they dealt with you straight up, you'd beat them academically. In sports, they look at us in sports, whether it's black men or women, we kill it. No matter what sport we play, we dominate. Whenever there's a level playing field anywhere, whether it's in academics, anything, we dominate. And because of that, these people have no problem cheating. while your son and daughter is studying till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning trying to get a 4.0 in high school so they can go to college because you ain't got no money to send them. They trying to get all the scholarships they can get. Their kids are dumb as a box of rocks, and yet they still get a 4.0. Why? Because they go to better schools than you go to. Because that's, remember my YouTube folks, my the Iceman Show family. Remember when I did that video about 3 years ago called smarts versus I think it was either smarts versus intelligence. No, it was smart/intelligence versus. I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Versus smarts intelligence versus wisdom versus wisdom. And now you guys know I got a background in mental health and psychopathology. And unless you're developmentally delayed, or you had some type of brain injury or something else, other kind of brain issue, everybody is born with intelligence. Everybody's born with smarts. If smarts were all Black people needed, then why are we the most economically deprived people in this country? Explain that to me. Smarts ain't what you don't need to be smart in America. You just need to be ruthless. Hear me, Black people. The reason why we're in last place is because you want to play this moral game instead of playing this game to win. Because these other folks, as you see with this college admission scam, as you see, these people cheat. And this situation is indicative of the stuff they've been doing for going beyond 500 years. It just is getting exposed now. Follow me here. I knew about some of this stuff 15 years ago. What these upper class Caucasian families would do. This is one of the scams they run. I don't know if this got covered, but I'm going to cover it right now. One of the scams they would run is they would take their children to a psychologist, a PhD, clinical psychologist, or a psychiatrist. And they would kind of be like, look, I think my son got ADHD. I think they got anxiety. I think my son's depressed. And what the psychologist or psychiatrist would do is they would give him a diagnosis. Now, if they were psychiatrists, they can write him a script. But really all they need is the diagnosis. And they'll take those medical records, those progress notes, they will take that to the ACT people or the SAT people. Why? Because that would give them extra time. See how they cheat? While your son and daughter is going down there playing by the rules, and yet the test proxy is still sitting there looking at your son or daughter. Let's see if that Black person cheating. Meanwhile, Tom and and Becky and them are back there cheating. I've seen it with my own two eyes, even when I was in college. They passing tests around. And the professor's watching me. And I'm like, man, you gotta be kidding me. It's dealing with real racism. Why sometimes I get pretty angry. Because people will be like, man, why you be on them cockasaurs like that? I said, because they cheat and they lie and they steal on a daily basis. And while you playing by the rules, talking about I'm moral and ethical, they're cheating and they're getting over and they're dominating our behinds. And you sitting up here pointing fingers at another black person, talking about, man, you doing this to our people, you doing that. You e-bagging, you this, you that. You won't even support your own people. You so moral and ethical, you won't even support black-owned businesses. You'll go over here to some Asian or some Caucasian-owned establishment and spend your money over there. And a black man or a black woman open up the same kind of business, providing an even better product and or service, and you won't even go over there. Because you have been programmed to hate yourself. And then you get mad at me because I pointed out. And no amount of voting for Democrats on any government level is going to fix any of this. This ain't a Democrat or a Republican situation. Because those 750 defendants that were named in that indictment, most of them are Democrats. Most of these celebrities are Democrats. They're not Republicans. But they benefit no matter who's in office. While you're playing by the rules, they're cheating, and then they teach their children to cheat. And then their children will teach their children how to cheat. Meanwhile, you still losing. And it ain't just about them having a 400-year head start on you. It ain't that simple. Even I see cheating even on the graduate level. I see professors giving A's to students in the class just because. And yet they're giving me my paper back talking about see me. I'm like, see me ain't no grade. I dealt with this in both of my master's programs. And then I go up there, I'm like, man, what's wrong with my paper? Well, I wasn't really, understanding these concepts on this paper. What it is, I write straight, just like I talk to you right here. That's how I write. Anybody that bought my first book, The Game of Life According to the Iceman Volume 1, is straightforward, straight, no chaser. And that's the way I write. You can get this at Amazon or you can get this at AskTheIceman.com. And these professors don't like that. Because I tell the truth. So they try to find some way to set me back as far as my paper is concerned. And you got to understand something. When you do a 20 and 30 page paper, it's an insult to have to redo it. Because that means I got to go through the whole paper and restructure the whole paper, because the new information is not gonna make sense unless I rewrite most of the paper, even if there's only 3 or 4 pages that he got a problem with or she got a problem with. And the main professors I've always had problems with was Caucasians and them Indians. That's why, if you notice, I don't like Indians. I'm not talking about like Native Americans. I'm talking about Indians from India. I can't stand them. So whenever I'm in a situation where I can stick it to them, I do it. Because some of them are worse than Caucasians. All right, guys, let's get it cracking. We only had 2 people donate. Come on, man. What did I tell you guys last time? What did I tell you guys? Let's stop playing. Don't sit up there and spend all your money on Call of Duty Part 20 and then come on here nickel and diming. I'm only asking for $5. I'm not asking for you to go in your 401k. Let's get it cracking. Otherwise, we're gonna shut this show down. Okay? Y'all been slipping the last few weeks. If you want me to start, if you want me to do this show as a subscription only show, let us not reach our goal tonight. These people cheat on a minute-by-minute basis. You can sit up there and go to church every Sunday. You can pray to your Caucasian Jesus if you want to. Ain't none of this. Ain't none. You can vote Democrat. You can vote for Biden if you want to, because that's who's gonna get the nomination. You can vote for him, and we'll still be in last place. It's not gonna fix any of this. Because this is what America was founded on: cheating. And these people have been cheating so long, it looks fair. To the naked eye, it looks fair. It looks like, what's the problem, Iceman? I don't understand what you're talking about. That's because you ain't got your third eye open. You don't seem to have a problem with these people cheating, and they already got a 100-mile head start on you, a 500-mile head start on you, and you sitting up there talking about, well, we are talking about white zaddy and white mommy, ain't we? Stop talking about white zaddy and white mommy, man. You wrong, Ice Man. I still got to go to work tomorrow and suck up to white zaddy and mommy. You wrong, man. Well, that's your problem, not mine. That's your fault. That's your problem. If you put yourself in a position where you gotta get fed by another man, and you supposed to be a man yourself or a woman yourself, that's your fault. But don't let your blind cooning and samboing and mammying blind everybody else. If you want to be blind on your own time. I'm just going to let that burn out. Let that burn out. Make sure I can see him. And not only do they cheat when it comes to admissions, here's another way they dominate. Say their parents are multimillionaires and their dumb sons and daughters, they'll send their kids to boarding schools. And then they'll be like, well, where you want to go, son or daughter? Where you want to go? You want to go to Yale or you want to go to Harvard? Well, you know, me and your mom went to Harvard. So you want to go to Harvard? I said, no, Dad, you know, I want to kind of plot my own course. I'm gonna go to Yale. Okay, I know the dean of admissions over there. And so they'll make a phone call and they'll be like, oh, you know, Junior's in. No problem. Meanwhile, your son or daughter's application to Yale gets over-considered. And they look for every reason not to accept your son or daughter. So if your son or daughter gets in, it's on their own merit. It's because your son and daughter got God-given intelligence and they've been able to apply that to their academics. But that's not all they need to be successful, as you already know. You see how they cheat? They can make a phone call and get their dumb kids into Yale and Harvard and Brown and Colgate. Meanwhile, your child has to make miracles happen to get in there. And yet your child really has intelligence, whereas they're just some old dumb caucasoid that's got hookup. All they did through high school was snort cocaine and smoke weed and pop pills. And because their father or their mother went to that boarding school, they get passed. You have no idea what kind of evil lurks out here in the real world. Or their parents will donate $1 million to Harvard and magically their kids get accepted. Magically. Like Lucky Charms. Except the Lucky Charms that your children have to eat and my children have to eat are bitter and don't taste good. But theirs is sweet as candy. So they cheat every which way. And you call yourself playing by the rules. See how they do us? How can you contend with 500 years of cheating? And it ain't just college. It's everywhere. If you think this is just in college and academics, you're mistaken. This is how they do everything. Cheating is pervasive throughout their lives. But throughout their whole lives are cheating. That's why I try to talk to black folks and get black folks to stop sitting up here teaching your kids to go out here and go to college just so they can get a job working for these people, working for a bunch of cheaters. And you're sitting up there excited because your son or daughter has gone to college to get a job. Meanwhile, they go to college to get to network and to get put on so they can further dominate us. They're not looking for a job when they graduate from college because their situation has already been set up for them. And you ain't got to be in the Bush family or something. You ain't got to be in a family like that to get that kind of hookup. Even on the blue collar level, they still do the same thing. Their kids can go out here and get criminal charges levied against them. Even in some cases get convicted and still end up living a better life than you. And you sitting up here with a college degree. And you're sitting there thinking, yo, Ice, how these people always end up ahead of us? Because they cheat. And you don't. Because you don't have a system set up where your children, when they come when they get old enough, as soon as they get old enough to talk, their lives are already set up for success. We got to go out here and make miracles happen just to get a job. You're up here hoping you get a job in corporate America while they go walk right into corporate America as an executive dominating you. And yet they ain't got half the intelligence you got. Let me explain something to you people. Slavery was not about racism. Don't let these people fool you. Slavery was about a dumb group and a lazy group of people forcing another group with all the intelligence and all the skills to do free labor to this day. You guys need to go get that book. If you ain't got it, you need to go get it. It's called Black Labor, White Wealth. That is a must read. It is your brain trust and your labor that has built this country, not theirs. And yet they're the main ones walking around talking about America's my country. No, America's our country because we built it. And it was our technology that built this country. Agricultural technology from West Africans. They would specifically get Africans from certain regions of the continent of Africa who knew how to do a certain kind of agriculture. So you ain't gonna never read this in them white history books. See, they want you to think that we were just some old dumb Africans talking about unga bunga. No. You have to remember, human civilization was started in Mali, in the country that was now known as Mali. That's where humanity started. So you mean to tell me that Some caucasoid that used to walk on all fours 7,000 years ago is smarter than us? See, black people, you have to understand, black people got too many hang-ups. Oh, I don't want to hear that talk because I'm a Christian. I don't want to hear that kind of talk. That sounds like Nation of Islam talk. You know what? I'm awake and you aren't. I'm smart enough to know that there was never a Jesus. There was never a white Jesus. And that the religious lie that you keep believing and black ministers keep teaching you is that the whole story of Virgin Mary and Joseph and all of that was a real story. It's not. It wasn't. It's not a real story, black people. And if you did your research like I had to, because I was raised in darkness, now I know better. But see, you'll never figure that out because you have been brainwashed with religion. And that's another way they dominate us. While you're talking about being moral and Christian, they're out blowing your kids' brains out. They're shooting people in mosques as they kneel to pray to Allah. While you're sitting there talking dummy talk, they're out here murdering our children, as well as black men, and in some cases, black women. And you have the nerve to get angry at me because I tell you the truth. Well, if I lie so much, unfriend me and tear your behind on. Why you keep coming back listening to me? You ain't nobody forcing you to do anything. But you know I'm telling the truth. You just mad that it's the truth. All of that stuff is made up. The Roman Catholic Church, the Judeo-Christians, the Romans knew the best way to dominate the races of the world was to throw that religion nonsense in their faces. And we bought it hook, line, and sinker. And if you notice, black men and women who give off from under that yoke of Christianity, you notice we think clearly. I feel like a free man when I shook off them shackles of Christianity. Now, you need to understand the Queen James Bible. If you live in the Western Hemisphere, you need to have an understanding of the Bible. You need to understand it because America was built partially on Christianity. You have to understand the KKK is a Christian organization. Go do your research. They called themselves Christian, yet they were stringing all of us up on trees. And they're still lynching black people. They just don't talk about it in the media. There have been several young black men hanging from bridges and trees around the Atlanta area. Did you know that? Yet it never made it to the local news. Stop being cowardly, black folks. These people have built a system of cheating and lying, and all of them lie and cheat. You can sit up there and think Nancy Pelosi or AKA Nasty Pelosi. You can sit up here and believe. You can sit up here and believe Nancy Pelosi is your friend. See, black folks, let me explain. Let me say this, and we're gonna move on. In America, because of what the media feeds us what they want to feed us, we have been indoctrinated that the only type of racist is the Bull Connor, the David Duke, the tobacco chewing Southern Caucasian male and female. But what they don't tell you or don't teach you is that the left wing type of racist like Nancy Pelosi and Elizabeth Warren and them types, they grin in your face. And because they don't call you the N-word like these right wingers do, you think these Elizabeth Warrens and the Bernie Colonel Sanders, oh, they're not racist because they don't call me the N-word and they grin in my face. Meanwhile, as soon as you start talking about tangible reparations, all of a sudden Bernie Sanders gonna cut and run. Y'all see that? But he don't have a problem with Jewish people getting reparations. Jewish people are still getting reparations now. They ain't got no problem with Japanese people getting reparations from being put in them internment camps during World War II. They ain't got no problem with that, do they? They ain't got no problem giving Native Americans reparations with casinos and their own land. Now you might say, well, they're out there squandering and getting drunk every day. Well, you know, it's their lives to live. That wouldn't be me, because if you gave me a reparation with 100,000 acres, you can best believe I'm going to flip that so quick. In 2 or 3 years, you're going to be seeing mansions. And I'm going to be in one of them. And hopefully, if you act right, you'll be in one next to me. But see, black people don't think like that. We don't think as a team. Because we think we got one group of black folks who think if they kiss butt and suck butt, that Hunky McGee gonna put them on. And then you got the other brothers and sisters over here that's saying, hey, look here, man, I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that just to get a handful of crumbs. I'm gonna go build my own dynasty. I don't need to go beg him for crumbs. And as long as we got that going, or we got black women over here talking about, I'm a feminist. I'm a feminist first. I'm a woman first and a black person second. As long as you got black women like that, you ain't gonna never see teamwork. Because black men, the first thing they say is, I'm black first. I'm not trying to be friends with Hunky McGee and them. See, a lot of you guys get mad at me because you want to write me off as some crackpot militant. And I'm not. I just tell the truth. And I've always told the truth. Which is why I don't get along with most of my family, because I got a bunch of con artists in my family on both sides. This next election, people, is going to be a pivotal moment in Black history. Why? Because for the first time in Black history, The issue of reparations is front and center. And the reason why it's front and center is because of Black men and women like me putting it out there and keeping our foot on their necks. Elizabeth Warren wants to talk about reparations, but that's all she gonna do. Bernie Sanders is like, I ain't even talking about it no more. Kamala Harris her campaign is done. Cory Hooker, done. They're just waiting to trot Joe Biden out there. They're just going to let everybody get worn out off all these clowns. And then Joe Biden's going to march in there at the end of this year and announce his candidacy. And the ticket will be, and hey, I'm willing to bet $1,000. I'm going to put a G up. Do I have any takers? I'm willing to put a G up. I'm willing to put a stack up that the Democratic ticket for the 2020 presidential election will be Joe Biden and Beto O'Rourke, or Joe Biden and Julian Castro. I guarantee it. Who's willing? Who do I have any takers? Matter of fact, I might go ahead and place a bet in Vegas. I'm willing to do it because that's exactly what they're going to do. Joe Biden is the strongest Democratic candidate out of all those other clowns. And he has made it clear he ain't even talking about reparations. He's already intimated I ain't talking about no reparations. Now, Elizabeth Warren can run her behind out there and talk about it. All these other folks can run around here and talk about it because they ain't going to do nothing either. I ain't even talking about it. That's how bold Joe Biden is. And let me tell you something about Joe Biden, since you think Joe Biden's your buddy. Joe Biden voted for that racist private prison crime omnibus bill back in '96. He voted for that. Look at the racist stuff he said about Obama when they were before their primary. He was talking about, oh, Obama's well-spoken and all this kind. That's racist talk. Let me tell you something about Joe Biden. And then Joe Biden talking about, well, we didn't know that the crime bill was going to do what it did. Let me explain something to you. Before they pass any of these bills, they have PhD level folks, advisors who do the research. And they come back and give multiple hundreds of pages of advice. And they will say in those studies, this is going to hurt the most financially vulnerable people in this country, which are whom? Black people. Do you think that stopped Joe Biden from voting for that crime bill? Joe Biden voted for that war in Iraq and Afghanistan too, to the tune of $6 trillion has been wasted. And all those thousands of lives and those black men and women who went over there, who couldn't find a job doing nothing else but go to the military. We lost all those young brothers and sisters over there in that sand, in both them sandboxes. Somebody was telling me not too long ago the main reason why George W. Bush doesn't travel outside the United States is because secretly they have found him they have charged him with war crimes. And he doesn't, there's an international warrant out for his arrest. Did y'all know about this? Because I've never seen George W. Bush leave the country. I haven't seen him leave the country. I've seen Bill Clinton leave the country. I've seen other former presidents leave the country. I ain't seen him leave the country. So there might be some truth to that. $6 trillion. Count it. That's more money than any of us will ever see in our lifetime. And yet these are the same people who will turn around and tell you there's no money for reparations. And you're going to sit there and listen to that. First of all, as soon as you say, because I'm going to ask you, I want a yes or no question. Are you going to give me tangible reparations or not? If you say no, or if you start white-splaining, I'm gonna shut you down. I don't want to hear nothing else you got to say unless you providing some tangibles. So all you black folks that's sitting up here trying to voting, doing all this emotional voting, talking about we want somebody that's going to give us hope. No, you want somebody that's going to give you tangibles. Because hope don't pay the bills. I ain't never seen hope pay no light bill. I ain't never seen hope pay no college tuition. Now you can go out there and blindly vote for a Democrat, any Democrat they stick in front of you, or you can sit back like me like this. You gonna vote? Not till I see some tangibles. You put something to pen to paper, I'll vote for you. I'll come out of voting retirement and vote for you. Otherwise, I ain't voting. And I don't care how many black people got killed trying to vote. That's not the point. Voting ain't about emotions. Voting is about critical thinking and leverage. I am leveraging, if I was going to vote, I am leveraging my vote in exchange for tangibles. You give us tangibles, we'll deliver the votes, Democratic Party. Otherwise, Trump will be in there another 4 years. And you know they sitting in there every now and then. Somebody will say, well, do you want Trump in there 4 more years? Let me see. Deal with another do-nothing Democratic president versus Trump? Yeah. Bring it on. Bring Trump on for another 4 years. Because if nothing else, he's taking care of all these other minorities, all these other races who need to be dealt with. Because all these other races are your competition. And while you're sitting up there caping for illegal immigrants, they're coming over here calling you Mayate in the N-word, and they're in school beating up your children. And all these sanctuary states and cities, like New York just passed a bill to allow illegal aliens to stay in New York State. That is to replace the black labor class. Just like they brought them Asians over here from Southeast Asia during the Vietnam era. What do you think they brought them over here to be nice? They brought them over here to replace you. The reason why they've been turning a blind eye to the border, allowing these burglars to break in our country, because they want nannies, they want low-cost nannies. And they want low-cost construction workers. They want low-cost factory workers. Why? Because they know you are going to want a living wage that is comparable to what your Caucasian counterparts are being paid. You see how they do you? And the Democratic Party is the main ones behind all that. So while you going out here supporting the Democratic Party blindly like a slave, they're sticking that knife in your back. I wish I had known this in my 20s. And I'm glad that Trump is building a fence, wall, picket fence, electro fence. I don't care what he built down there. I'm glad he's doing it. And now they're working on making sure that these thieves don't get free welfare. I'm at Target. I'm over here in Oregon. I'm over here at a Target, and I see some old Frumpty Dumpty midget pocket illegal walking around with newborns. And I'm looking at them like, look at this. Look at this. And you black women, oh, hey, they need to stop separating families. What you need to do is make sure they don't separate black children from their parents, because that is that is something that happens on a daily basis in this country with the foster care system. Those babies that got killed by those two lesbian demons who ran off that cliff in California, those children, three of those children, I think the Harris, three of them were siblings. They're from Houston. Their mother, somebody told on their mama that their mama was smoking crack. And the Department of Children and Welfare people took those three kids out of the home. And those two demons adopted them. Well, I don't have to tell you what else, what transpired after that. But one thing I will tell you, if you haven't listened to my podcast before, I will tell you this. This is something that I found out investigating online. The first child that they fostered was a Caucasian teenager. See, they ain't never mentioned that. Those two women were from Minnesota. See, this is how they started in Minnesota, went down to Texas. See, a lot of these so-called Christians and these Mormons that you think are innocent because they don't call you the N-word to your face, a lot of these people are pedophiles and sexual predators. And they go to places like Latin America, the continent of Africa, and they adopt these kids and they bring them over here and be playing with the booty holes. See, that's something that they're not telling you. Now, the Caucasian, now this young lady is in her early 20s, and she lives in the Alexandria, Minnesota area, an area I know very well. She said they never beat her and they never starved her like they did those 6 black kids. And this is something I found out recently. One of the girls said that they were molesting her. See, this is what happens when you turn your back on these racists. Just because they don't call you the N-word to your face. They are trying to wipe black people off the face of the earth, and they're doing it slowly. On one hand, they're using violence and murder. On the other hand, they're providing your children with a piss poor education, a high school to prison to graveyard pipeline, thanks to you single moms. So we have an entire generation of young Black men who either want to be a woman or they're effeminate and they're still heterosexual. I talk about that in my book, The Game of Life According to the Iceman, Volume 1. Or they're violent. They're one of three, sometimes two or three, because we got homo thugs out here. You can't do nothing with any of those guys. You can't do anything with them. And when the females come out of these single female head of households, they're either a whore, a mammy, or a coon, or a sambo, or they're a feminist. And they think that they're part of the white establishment. Black men can't lead if they never been taught manhood. And the only person that can teach a boy manhood is a man. So when you Black women go out here and buy these Mother and Father's Day cards from Hallmark talking about I'm the mother and the father, you're neither. That's why we got so many simps out here. That's why we have so many vagina hounds out here, because that's what you're raising. We got a whole generation of young Black men, all they care about is chasing tail. They don't know how to build anything. And some of you Black women have the nerve to get up off your dead behind talking about Black men need to lead. How they gonna lead if they coming out of your household with no daddy? I seen it with my own two eyes. And you think because you go get a simp and place him in the home and say, well, this is my kid's example of a man, they ain't gonna never respect him. They know that ain't their father. They might like him, but they know he ain't their father. You think you doing something because you got a pair of pants in the house. And that's all you have, because he ain't a man. He's just a pair of pants. And he's only there tricking his money off on you so that he can continue to get sexual favors from you. And as long as you getting child support and you got that simp in the house, you think you doing something. But in the end, the children are the ones who are going to be emotionally deprived. And when they go out here as adults, they're going to be emotional cripples. You know how I know? Because I see that with my kids. Every last one of them are emotional cripples because of their mother. But their mother don't care. She thought she was doing something. As you can see, I got a backbone and I'm a man. So females that come out of female-headed households, they don't like me because they know they gotta submit. And I'm not saying that to be the sound. I'm not trying to sound. I'm not trying to sound like a chauvinist. But we all gotta play our position, and we all gotta stay in the lane that we've been put in. You can't play my position, and I can't play yours. But you don't have Black men out here trying to do that. You don't have Black men out here talking about I'm the mother and the father. I know single fathers. They don't talk that nonsense. And here comes Hallmark putting these cards out. I'm you the mother and the father. They wouldn't do that to white folks, now would they? No. because they know white folks wouldn't tolerate that mess. But they know black women want to be white. You want to be in there like swimwear with white zaddy and white mommy. So you don't have a problem being, you don't know how disrespectful that is because you didn't have a father. So you don't care. You could care less whether your children have a father. But your children are going to die by the sins of your hands. You can send, see, let me explain something to you, black woman. You can send your kids out here to go get a college education. You see, a lot of black women think a college education is that's all they got to get. And as you have heard throughout this live stream, that when you're dealing with a cheater, your college degree don't mean a damn thing. Your college degree is useless against that kind of evil. Because you don't know how to cheat. They say play by the rules. What rules? These folks out here say what rules? If there's any rules, that's for you to follow, not us. And you too dumb to figure that out. Child support don't raise no kid. Fathers do. And studies have shown that even girls, daughters, come out better adjusted being raised by their fathers than by their mothers. Why? Because their fathers trained them to be an adult. He might not know how to train her to be a woman, but he know how to train her to be an adult. And he's also provided something intangible that you'll never be able to provide. And that's the example of a man. So when she goes out here to look for boyfriends and husbands, she looks at dad and said, Dad got up every day and went to go to work. Dad got up, rain, sleet of snow, and worked 2 jobs so that me and my brother could have the things that we had. So you know what kind of man she gonna go out there and look for? She gonna go out there and look for that kind of man. And she's gonna find him. And she's gonna be married while you're gonna die alone. Never being married, or maybe somebody thought enough of you to marry you once, and then maybe they couldn't. After about 5, 6, 7, 10 years, they just couldn't take it no more and walked away. Now you bitter for the rest of your life. Deal with that. So as you can see, with all the evil that's going on around us, you're playing by the rules, you're going to church every Sunday, wasting your time, and you getting a college degree, you still are behind the 8 ball, and you're still 500 years behind these people. Because you don't understand how the game is really played. You think jumping on black men and using the system to screw over black men is how you get ahead. And now you're realizing that that ain't the business. Now you want to sit around here making videos talking about we love you, black man. No, you don't. If you love black men so much, stop going to get phony restraining orders. Stop running to the family court, putting Nazi child support on your father, so on your children's father, so that he can make enough money to put some money aside, so he can help send his kids to college, because that child support money is that college 521 plan money that could have been used to help your kids go to college. But instead, all you were looking out for is yourself. All you were looking for is getting your nails done and getting your hair did. Then when you get my age, now after you done had sex with all the drug dealers in the hood and all the other D-boys and hustlers in the hood, Now you want a working man. Now you want an honest brother that get up and go to work every day. You want the brother that supervisor at the warehouse. Now you want the brother that works second shift at the post office. But 30 years ago, you told him to go to hell. Now you want him. And now he's got enough sense to walk away because he could smell garbage on the horizon and use vagina on the horizon. He can smell the tuna and the red snapper from around the corner. Before you can even cut the corner, he can smell the orange roughy. Deal with that. You out here trying to crap on black men, and we got these folks out here running a 500-year cheating scam. You running around here thinking you something because you can go to the Gucci store and buy a $1,500 purse. Meanwhile, Lori Loughlin's daughter, Olivia Jade, you running around here trying to act like you all that because you got a $1,500 Gucci purse, or you got you wasted $3,000 of your tax return money on a Prada bag. Meanwhile, Olivia Jade gets Prada bags sent to her directly from Prada for free. And without any education, any being a Christian, none of that crap. Her daddy can get on the phone and call the board of directors or the CEO of Hermes or Prada and get his daughter a job making $500,000 a year or even $1 million a year because she's got 2 million YouTube subscribers or 2 million Instagram followers. Meanwhile, your broke behind it can just sat up there and wasted part of your retirement buying a $3,500 bag with your own money. And you think you big pimping because you don't put child support on your baby daddy. But see, y'all see the kind of hood crap that a lot of us engage in. And this is one of the reasons why we can't compete, because a lot of us still got our heads in the hood, in the toilet. You see what kind of game they're playing? They're playing to win and you're playing to lose. And you don't have sense enough to see when you taking an L and continue to take L's on a daily basis. You out here clapping your hands and stomping your feet for employment, and these folks are getting $1 million a year jobs or careers just based on the strength of their mama or their daddy getting on the phone calling the CEO of the company. You can't compete with that. Not without your own economy, you can't. See, that's psychological warfare that black folks don't know how to play. See, I know how to play psychological warfare because I play chess, not checkers. Might take me 10 years to get at you, but I will get at you. Remember that. Because a lot of people who thought I was down for the count was surprised when I popped back up. Because I know what's really popping out here in these streets. While you sitting over there playing one game, they over here playing 500 years of games. You out here denigrating your race and denigrating your men, and they out here running the hustles they running. And you wonder why we can't compete. And you'll never catch up. It has nothing to do with intelligence. It has nothing to do with smarts. It's about having the complexion for the protection, for the collection. Can you dig it? You tune in to the Iceman Show podcast. I'm going to take a quick break. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't donated yet, please hit me on the Cash App. I know a couple of people have. If you haven't donated today, let's go ahead and get it cracking. Guys, we are $15 short. We're at $35. Let's knock out this last $15 so I can really get into this. All right, let's knock out this next $15. Come on, let's get it cracking. If you haven't donated, please go ahead and donate so we can go ahead and get this cracking, because I'm just getting warmed up. If you really want me to go in, let's knock out this last $15. Let's get it cracking. All right, let's get it popping. I'll be back in 2 and 2. You're tuned in to the Iceman Show podcast. I am your faithful host, the Iceman. Be back in a second. Keep it locked right here. Back into place. Let's go ahead. Hey, y'all, let's go ahead and knock out this last 15, man. Let's go ahead and get it cracking. Come on. If you haven't donated, go ahead and make it happen. Let's go ahead and get this cracking. Let me close these blinds, man. Sun been out the last 2 or 3 days, but I guarantee the gloominess and the rain is coming. I guarantee you'll probably hit tomorrow, Thursday. Psychological warfare is real. And we have not learned how to play. We haven't learned how to play to win. I'm gonna keep saying this. This is something that Richard Spencer said. Richard Spencer said, with us, the racist, it's about winning at all costs, even if we have to cheat. Most of y'all don't get that because you're trying to be a square peg in a round hole. You'll never become that round hole, that round peg that fits in that round hole. Why? Because they hate you. But they have no problem using you and using your intelligence. See, you have to understand something. Systemic racism doesn't thrive based on intelligence. It thrives based on cheating and being ruthless. You don't understand that. After 500 years of being murdered, raped, sodomized, you still don't understand. You still want to try to find a way to cozy up to these people, when clearly every time they get a chance, they're showing you that you're not welcome. And this is why any black person that goes out here voting for Democrats, and I'm not telling you if you don't vote for a Democrat, you should vote Republican. Don't get that twisted. That's not what I'm saying. Because whether you vote or not, you still gonna get screwed. Let me explain something to you. Again, there's the left wing and then the right wing, but both of those wings are on the same bird. Understand? See, black folks, there's 50 and 60 and 70 and 80-year-old black people who still ain't figured that out. You got the Koch brothers over here who donate money mainly to Republican candidates as well as the Republican Party, but also Democrats. They also donate money to Democrats. And then on this side, on the left wing side, you got George, a billionaire like George Soros, donating money to cause who's trying to do the same evil. But you can't put 2 and 2 together. That George Soros and the Koch brothers are all on the same team. Because you can't fathom betrayal. You can't fathom betrayal from the Democrats. Because they have fooled you into believing that they got your back when they don't. And thank God a lot of black men learned from voting for Obama that, hey, man, I don't like how we got played. I'm not going to vote for Hillary Clinton. And black men, a lot of them did not vote for Hillary Clinton, although 98% of black women voted for Hillary Clinton. Now, brothers, if that don't tell you about black women, I don't know what will. When we all know that Hillary Clinton is the same kind of evil that Donald Trump is. The same kind of racist. You don't think Bill Clinton is a racist? You a fool. Bill Clinton had the nerve to pass that child support bill, and yet he got a black son he ain't taking care of. Anybody from Little Rock and from the state of Arkansas know what I'm talking about. Got a black son look just like him. He ain't spent a dime on him, ain't gave him a penny. And yet he out here passing legislation talking about we gonna take care of deadbeat dads. He got a lot of nerve. That's why, let me explain something to y'all, man. See, these people don't run no game on me because I woke up a long time ago. And I'm not so blind that I can't see the forest for the trees. Okay? A lot of you guys just want some acceptance from white zaddy and white mommy, which is why you keep supporting the Democratic Party, even though clearly they ain't supporting you. They're going to spend $6 trillion on 2 illegal wars, but then turn around and tell you that there ain't no money for reparations. And if you sit there and listen to that, you's a fool. You's a fool. Like I said, votes are about leverage, not emotions. And while you sitting up there voting for the person you like, meanwhile, we're still falling behind economically as the day is long. You still don't get it. Guys, what's up, man? YouTube, what y'all think I'm clown? Y'all think I'm whistling Dixie over here? What did I tell y'all about that? See, this is how you know. Let me stop the show right here. This is how you know most of you young black men don't have no daddies. You know why I can tell you ain't got no daddy? Is because you don't understand what leadership is because you've never seen leadership. All you've seen is your mom whine and suck for male attention. So when it comes time for you to stand up like a man and represent, you start playing games like females do. The reason why a lot of you young black men are virgins or any tail you get, you got to pay for it. You know why that is? Because we live in the era of effeminate males who don't have a man bone in your body. So anytime a man starts trying to talk to you about something or tell you to be a part of something, you start whining. You start huckabucking. You start bojangling. Because you don't know what being a man is about. You don't understand that you got to put your money where your mouth is. If you consider yourself to be a man, then prove it. But most of you don't know how to do that because you ain't never been in the house with a man. But whenever the cable got cut off or whenever the lights got cut off, what did next thing you know, that simp was over there or that trick was over there. And just magically overnight, after you hearing, whose drawers it is? Whose drawers it is? And after you hear all that all night long, next thing you know, when you come home from school, Cartoon Network's back on. That's all you know. Or your mom's walking around with a cigarette hanging out of her mouth, cussing and fussing and whining. That's all you know. If you want to know why a lot of black men like me leave the hood and never turn around and reach back and help anybody else. You know why we do that? Because you don't support us. You'll go out here and spend $80 on Call of Duty game. You'll go out here and spend $80 on some dumb Red Dead Redemption game. You'll go out here and spend $80 on the next Madden game. And when it comes time for one of your brothers or sisters that come to you and say, look, look, I make soups. Buy soup from me. Oh, man, I ain't got no money. You understand? Because you see manhood as something you outsource to old brothers like me. And what you're going to find out the hard way is when you get around 40, you're going to realize that whining and huckabucking and bojangling ain't going to get you through. Because Sancho and them, if they already ain't took your job, they're going to take it. And all your buck dancing and bojangling and clowning and being the clown at the job, none of that's going to work. You see what that brother did in Chicago a few weeks ago. He killed 5 people. One of them was a Mexican. I guarantee all 5 of them were giving him hell. Understand me? I don't agree with how he went out. But that's what happens. That's that you're getting your job taken from you because somebody of another race takes it. If it hasn't already happened to you, it will happen. It's not a matter of if. It's a matter of when. And while you sitting there clowning and being a idiot and a dummy and a skirt chaser, you know how you see these dusty old black men my age and older out here smoking crack or out here homeless You know why you see old black men like that? Because they were you at your age. Okay? Appreciate it, brother. When are black people going to learn how to play this game to win? We have a 2020 election coming up. It's going to be this is going to be a defining moment in American history. So this is one of the reasons why I keep pushing tangibles 2020. If they ain't cutting us a check, don't vote. Because the Democratic Party, contrary to what you think, depends on the black vote. They may act like they don't need you because every 4 years they come around and they say, well, you know, we need your vote. Make sure you black folks get out and vote Democrat. And then as soon as they get in office, just like Bill Clinton, just like Obama, they screwed you over. Now, you can sit there and say, well, you can't help black people specifically. Let me refute that. If that wasn't true, then how come Trump, look at his base. His base now, no matter how intangible some of the stuff he does is, he gives his base what they want. No matter how racist it is, you can say what you want to say. When have you gotten anything out of any Democratic president? Going all the way back to Jimmy Carter. Hell, going all the way back to Kennedy or LBJ. When have they done anything specific to the people who put them in the White House? I'll wait. See, I ain't playing. You might be playing. We ain't. You might be scared to tell the Democratic Party, cut that check. We ain't. You might be scared to tell Joe Biden and all the rest of the Democratic clowns that they need to cut that check in order for you to vote for them. You might be scared to tell them that. I'm willing to tell it to them to their faces. I don't live my life in fear, but you do. Oh, you big and bad on Facebook. But as soon as Bernie Colonel Sanders come around or Joe Biden come around, y'all's a sons of plantation jubilee. You can't wait to start buck dancing. You wonder why we ain't moved the needle in black society because of you. Because as soon as we try to get some progress made, you turn around and sneak behind us and cut a side deal with the devil. You over there trying to cut side deals so you can get some butter biscuit tangibles for yourself. That's why whenever I see people like Roland Martin on TV, or Angela Rye, or Angela Wheatbread, whatever her name is, Angela Pumpernickel, or any of the, or that old mammy, what's her name? Donna Brazile. She is such a mammy. She, every time I turn around, she frothing at the mouth over some white man. She ain't nothing but a mammy. Those folks only care about themselves. They don't care about the masses. They don't care about the black masses. All they care about is getting some tangibles for themselves. And black folks finally have gotten hip to that crap. See, Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton been playing that game for years. Making you think they care about black society when they don't. Because they'll go to the Democratic Party and say, well, hey, you give us $1 million, you give my consulting firm $1 million, and I'll deliver the black vote to you. Well, when Hillary didn't win, you notice Roland Martin got fired off of CNN, didn't he? They got rid of him real quick, didn't they? Or was it TV One they fired him off of as soon as Hillary lost? I can't stand that dude. Because it's buck dancing Sambos like him and Angela Wheatbread, or Angela Wonder Bread. It's them kind of Negroes that are undermining us. You need to tell the Democratic Party, cut that check or we don't vote. And we'll allow Trump to get reelected. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it's actually a win-win. It's actually a win-win. If they give us the tangibles we want, we win. If Trump, if y'all want to keep playing these games and sucking up the illegal immigrants and Nasty Pelosi and all these other Democrats, you want to keep sucking up to them and giving them your vote for free, then people like me, these young brothers and sisters, ain't voting for Biden anyway. They didn't vote for Hillary. I can't tell you how many young black men and women are walking around with MAGA hats on. You think that's a joke? Keep on thinking it's a joke. We win if Trump wins. We still win. We still win because he's going to keep his foot on them illegals. Okay? He's going to keep his foot on their necks. And he might start going after these other races, which is fine with me because that keeps the heat off us. And he's eradicating feminism because all you mammies who've been making a living off being on welfare and Section 8, if you notice, that's being cut. So we win. I win regardless. Whether I don't even have to vote and I still win. That's how easy this is for me. You can say what you want to say about me. I don't care. Because I ain't trying to be liked. I'm not trying to be accepted. I want to be heard by the right ears. Because if you're just on here for entertainment, I don't want you listening to me anyway. Because you're a joke. It's time for us to stop playing. Stop acting like politically immature people and start leveraging your vote. And stop acting helpless. You don't act helpless when you going out to the family court now, do you? You ain't helpless when you go down there to put that fake restraining order out on us, are you? No, you ain't. You big and bad, then. You walking in there like Venus de Milo. You the biggest, you the biggest and baddest. But as soon as the white supremacists come in, as soon as they come in the room, all of a sudden you act like a little kid. Well, it's time to start acting like an adult. Because if you want to sit here and get nothing in another election, go ahead. Go ahead. But don't complain when your guy gets in there and does nothing for you. See, you have to understand, fellas, that women don't care whether anything gets done or not. Black women don't care if nothing gets done. They don't care. As long as they can get a job in corporate America and they got a white female friend that will go to lunch with them, that's all black women care about is white acceptance. They ain't like you. See, you need tangible. You want tangible. You want resources. See, black women don't care because as long as they can get a little job at GM, or they get a job at Procter and Gamble, or they can get that federal job working, being a clerical worker at with the federal government, they don't care. But see, all that's going to come to an end. And it's starting to come to an end. It's already started. When they had that shutdown, that was the writing was on the wall right then. Federal jobs are being cut as we speak. You don't believe me? Ask some of your relatives that work for the federal government who ain't in law enforcement. Ain't no money. They gave when they gave the rich folks and the rich corporations those tax breaks, that was trillions of dollars being taken off the table. Where do you think how you think they're gonna make balance? How you think they're gonna make the budget work? Cutting social programs, cutting jobs. You don't believe me? Do your research. Since you don't believe me, do your research. That shutdown wasn't because they ain't had the money. That shutdown, well, part of it, yeah. But most of that, the reason why they did that shutdown, Trump was proving a point. I'll shut this thing down if I don't get what I want. And yeah, he didn't get what he wanted. And the only reason why he went ahead and relented was because of the Super Bowl, because it was affecting the aviation industry. People will stop. People was like, I ain't flying. If there ain't no TSA agents, or if the TSA agents are mad and they already treating you worse than they normally do, people stop flying. Man, boy, you better do your research. That Super Bowl is why he stopped that shutdown, because it would have affected the Super Bowl. See, it always comes down to economics every time. And you can sit up here and think it's about your emotions if you want to. At the end of the day, it's about economics. And if you don't get your cut, if you too stupid to leverage your vote to get your cut, you don't deserve anything anyway. Because I guarantee all you so-called Democrats out here who who blindly support the Democratic Party no matter what, like a slave, if we got reparations tomorrow, you'd be first in line ahead of us. You'd be the first one in line. Talk about where's my check? Yet you the main one talking about we don't need reparations. I seen fools on Facebook posting stuff talking about we ain't gonna never get no reparations anyway, so it don't make no sense to even be talking about reparations. I'm like, look at these fools. Look at these fools. You ain't gonna never get none if you don't understand how leverage works. Of course you ain't gonna get nothing because you're an idiot. You want to be sitting up here living hand to mouth because you're an idiot. They keep black folks. I don't know when we gonna stop falling for the banana in the tailpipe trick. I don't know when we gonna stop when we gonna stop falling for that crap. When you gonna stop falling for that? Stop aligning yourself with all these other races. They are about their group and their group only. When are you going to be about your group? When are you going to get selfish and say, it's all about me and mine? That's why a lot of people are starting to get scared. Because they like black folks don't normally talk like that. Black folks don't normally say, it's all about black first. Screw everybody else. They ain't used to hearing that. They ain't used to hearing that. So you got all these other groups. Now you got these Hispanics out here talking about, well, we deserve reparations too. No, you don't. You better go talk to Ferdinand or whatever the president of Spain is, whoever he is, or whatever his name is. You better go talk to Luis and them about getting your money. America don't owe you anything. And if you think because Mexico got beat down by the United States at the Alamo and got beat back beyond the Rio Grande, if you think that is cause for you to be owed something, keep on dreaming, dog. You could take your Aztec behind right back down there to Mexico City and rotate. If you Puerto Rican, if you want your reparation check, you better swim your butt across that pond over there to Spain. If you're Portuguese American, you better jump in that water and start all the way to Lisbon, Portugal, to get your check. If you from the Caribbean, you better go holler at France. You better go holler at Macron or holler at the Queen, holler at Queen Elizabeth about your check. But Washington, D.C. don't owe you nothing. The only people who are owed anything is ADOS blacks. If you come from a. Now I know what some people gonna say. What about folks who with my mama white? My daddy black, my mama white, my mama black, my daddy white. Well, what's gonna have to happen is there's gonna have to be a threshold. If you're 50% black, I'm just throwing something out there. If you're 50% black and you could trace one or both sides of your family back to a slave that was on them plantations, then I feel you ought to get some money, but you only should get 50%. Now, somebody like me and most of y'all, well, both of your parents are black, you should get 100% of your tangibles. Now, if you think this is impossible, you're fooled. If enough of us put pressure on them, it will work. But all you coons, Sambos, mammies, and Negro bedwenches, you're not gonna stop us. If you want to sit here and you want to walk around here and start talking that, well, what about LGBT? Well, what about this? What about illegals? You want to talk that nonsense? You go over there all by yourself. Because I don't care about LGBT. I don't care about illegals. I only care about my people. It's time for black folks to get selfish. We can't carry everybody. We've been carrying all these other races, and everybody else have moved forward economically except for us. Because we always talking that coalition nonsense. There is no black and brown coalition. It's just us. And it's about time you realize we have no friends. We have no friends, black people. It's just us. We don't have the Republican Party. We don't have the Democratic Party. It's just us. And if you don't wake up and realize that and stop fighting against the inevitable, you're going to be the one that lose. Because I ain't going to lose. Like I said, it's a win-win for me whether the Democrat wins and we get our tangibles, or if Trump wins. I still win. Because Trump ain't cutting nothing. I ain't on welfare. I ain't on Section 8. I ain't on WIC. I ain't on SNAP. So he can cut those programs all he wants. It doesn't affect me. But all you mammies out there who who would rather get child support than learn how to work with a man in the house, you the one gonna get screwed. Because let me tell you something, Trump is cutting Section 8 right and left. Uncle Ben Carson is cutting it. If you don't believe me, look online. There's I don't know how many articles online talking about how people are getting kicked out of the projects who own Section 8. People who have Section 8 vouchers are getting 60 and 90-day notices telling them after this date, you will not be eligible for Section 8 through HUD. You don't believe me? If you think I'm lying, go online and check right now while we're doing this live stream. I guarantee you'll find plenty of articles online talking about how Section 8 is being cut. Why? Because there's no money. And they're not going to continue. And even if there was money, Trump is a businessman. He ain't going, yeah, his kids might skate for free, but you ain't. You ain't. So all you black women who want to make a career out of being on welfare or Section 8 or whatever it is you want, that ship is getting ready to sail. You don't believe me? Keep on. Keep on. You'll see. You'll see. You'll see. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Trump is going to need another 4 years to keep doing what he's doing. He needs 4 more years. And you know what? I hope he gets it. I hope he gets it because I don't want Biden in there. It's been a joy to have Trump in there. Not because I support him, but because the longer Trump's in there, the more the quicker feminism dies its inevitable death. Because all these so-called domestic violence programs that are really just designed for these Caucasian women to create their own businesses so they ain't got to work around men, those programs are getting shut down because those nonprofits only operate based on the grants they get from the federal government. Hell, they got a LGBT. Let me tell you something. It's people like Nancy Pelosi who will sit here and say, oh, there's no money for reparations. But then they'll get up the next day and say, oh, we got this LGBT justice bill we're getting ready to introduce. And like I keep telling you guys about these bills, every bill that Congress passes has millions, if not billions of dollars attached to them. So while they're telling you there's no money for reparations for black people, black ADOS folks, they'll turn around and they'll go out and give these homos what they want. And they ain't done no fighting, no marching, no water hoses got shot on them, nothing. That's why I can respect what Trump does. I don't agree with it, but I respect what he does because he gives his base what they want. Meanwhile, you vote for Democrats and they give you nothing that you want. But you, just like a dumb dog, like a dumb Pavlovian frothing at the mouth dog, you go right down there to that voting booth and vote for the next Democrat who ain't gonna do nothing for you. Then you'll take your anger out on me because I told you the truth that you really already know. You just don't want to hear it. You live in a country that's totally hostile to you because you have no power and you can't vote power. You can't outsource your power to somebody else. I don't know when black people are going to learn that. You can't outsource your power to another group and then wonder why they don't do nothing for you. Do you really think these Hispanics are going to do something for you? No. Do you really think if they put a woman in the White House, she's going to do something for black people? No. I don't want no woman in there because that means here we go with another wave of feminism. There'll be a fourth wave. I'm sick of feminists. Feminism is the #1 reason why black men and women are on opposite sides of the aisle. Because black women bought the bill of goods. No other race of women bought it, but you did. Caucasian women didn't even buy it. They talked that mess in public, but when they got home, they said, dear, would you like another plate of hamburger helper? Because she knew that's how she was going to keep her man in the house. Meanwhile, your dumb behind fell for the okie doke. because you wanted child support and welfare instead of a man. And look what that's gotten you over the past 50 years, black woman. You're the number one group of single moms. You're the number one group of fatherless children. You're the number one group of women who are going to end up dying alone. You're the least married. Every group of men, including a good number of black men, including all these other races of men, don't want you. And you don't have sense enough to see it. You got black women sitting up here talking about, well, I just go get me a white man. Go ahead. And all he's going to do is slip some pipe to you. And when he's done busting your vagina all to be damned, and he calls you NBITH, when he gets mad at you, here you gonna waddle your overweight, old behind back down to black men with your half black kids talking about, I'm looking for somebody that I'm looking for a man that wants to settle down. Too late. Well, I'm gonna go get me a Hispanic man. He don't want you either. He don't want you either. You think he gonna mess up his situation with Sofia Vergara and Salma Hayek for you? You think he gonna mess that up for you? Huh? Look how his women look. Not all of them, but a good number of them. Look how his woman look and look how you look. You think he gonna mess that up for you? Somebody outside his race? Well, I just get me an Asian man. Go ahead. Go ahead. He don't want you either. He don't want you either. And a lot of these black men under 40, they don't want you either. The only reason why the numbers of black women who are married to black men, which we're talking 85 to 95%, are black men 45 and older. These young black men are not getting married. And the ones that are increasingly marrying women of other races. That's not a good graphic, black women. That's not good statistics. You're already 40, 50, 60 years old, and you're alone. Your daughters are going to be alone too. Oh yeah, they're going to get a couple thugs to knock them up. But when it's all said and done, they're going to die alone just like you. And all y'all can sit around smoking Cools and Newports, talking about how black men ain't ish. Go ahead. That ain't gonna make a man appear in your house. The only kind of black men who are gonna waste their time dealing with you is Ray Rays and Pookies and Martavius. Excuse me, Walmart Tavius. That's the only black men who are going to deal with you. Losers. Felons. And while you might not be a criminal or a felon, those are the only kind of men who are going to be available to you, because black men like me, they're going to keep it pushing. You got black men out here, black women. I'm going to say this, and I hope you listening. You got black men out here who would rather be single and alone than to be with you. How does that make you feel? Let me talk as a therapist, as a psychotherapist. How does that make you feel? Huh? How does that make you feel? I'm only talking to the black women who this conversation applies to. I'm not talking to all black women. If you're a good sister and you out here taking care of business and you got love for black men and you got respect for black men, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the baby mamas and the baby mama single female hood rats. That's who I'm talking to. I ain't talking to you. You know who you are. You don't ride like that, then I ain't talking to you. I hope that 18 years of child support was worth it. You dying alone. And I don't care how many Yorkie puppies you buy. I don't care how many cats you buy. It ain't never going to take the place of a man. Never. And unlike, see, men are built. See, my generation and older, we were built to stand the test of time as a man who's willing to stand on his principles. That's a man. An effeminate male are these little things you're turning out who can't stand 5 minutes to go by without trying to chase some female. See, that's an effeminate male because he thinks like a woman. He's emotional like a woman. So he can't stand to be alone. See, me and my generation, we don't live our lives based on what women think. If we have to stand alone by ourselves, we can do it. You, on the other hand, as a woman, you're a social creature. You're a social, emotional creature. So you thrive on relationships, whereas we don't have to have them. We don't have a problem. We're open to having them, but we don't function we don't have to have that. You, on the other hand, do. You have to have it. Have you ever seen a woman who's forced to not have any friends in a social life? That is the most hateful looking woman you ever seen in your life. But see, a man, he don't get bitter like that. He don't get disgruntled like that. That's not how men operate. A man will say, okay, I can't find a decent woman. Okay, I'll put my energy towards something else. I'll write a book. I'll start playing golf again. I'll work on my golf game. I'll go out here and spend time with my grandkids. I'll go out here and hang out with my two daughters. That's what black men do. That's what men do. You, on the other hand, sit around the house like this. It's all these men fault reason why I can't find nobody. I can't find a fool. I can't find one of these good simps out here. You sitting around like that. That's the difference between us and you. And the older you get, the worse it's going to get for you until you learn how to submit to a man. Until you learn how to be submissive to a man, you will be alone. That's why all these other races of women have husbands and you don't. Why these Caucasian women might get on CNN talking that feminist nonsense, when they get home, they're like, dear, would you like another plate of of succotash. You, on the other hand, I ain't cooking you nothing. You're no good in. Then when he leave, you're like, see, I knew you wasn't no good. That's the kind of crap my ex used to talk. You can kick a dog only for so long until he leaves. And like I told my son a few weeks ago, I don't know what you talking about, dude, but I ain't miserable. I don't know what you talking about, dude. I don't know how you fixed in your mind. Listening to these live streams, I sound miserable. But see, that's when an effeminate male, that's how they think. Well, my mama ain't with you, so you ain't living. You ain't living your best life. I'm living my best life. Keep on thinking like that, black woman. Ain't nothing like a woman having to die a slow death. Maybe you suggest, I don't know, kill yourself since you're so miserable. I ain't disgruntled. I don't date half the women I used to date, and I don't care. I'm almost 60 years old. You really think that women are a priority? They're not. They never have been. That's why I was able to complete this. That's how I was able to get 2 master's degrees, because I don't put women first. That's how. And when I finished this second book, The Dating Bible, I want to make an announcement real quick to all the players out there, because I know guys been shooting me messages saying, hey, Ice, when the book gonna get done? Look, I'm not gonna put undue stress on myself. Here's what's gonna happen. I was gonna try to shoot for the summer to finish the Dating Bible. And by the way, everybody on Facebook, hit the like button. Everybody on Facebook, hit the like button. Everybody on YouTube, if you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. I was shooting for July 1st to finish the book. I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish it by then. And I really don't want to, put that kind of pressure on myself, because then I'm gonna do a sloppy job, and I'm not gonna do sloppy work. So yeah, it's been well over a year that I've been writing this book. Actually, it's been a year and a half. So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna set a tentative date for the Dating Bible. I'm gonna complete it by next summer. That gives me plenty of time to get, because it's taking a long time to write some of these chapters, because I'm using a lot of research. I'm not just writing this off the dome. I'm writing this like I'm writing a textbook. And because I got issues that some of you already know about, that causes problems. Formulating thoughts sometimes can be frustrating for me. So I need extra time. The music will probably come out before the book. Okay? So be on the lookout for that. If you're not subscribed to my Mad Voodoo Man channel on YouTube, I suggest you do that, because this event this Saturday, Prince, the man behind the mask, it's going to be an epic event on Player Circle Podcast. I suggest you subscribe to the Mad Voodoo Man channel so you don't miss out, because I'm not going to do a Facebook Live. I'm not doing a Facebook Live. It's going to be strictly YouTube. So if you are not subscribed to my channel, you're not going to be able to see it. So you're not going to be able to see it. And trust me, it's going to be worth being in the place to be. You digs? Prince, the man behind the mask. That's what we got popping off this Saturday. This Saturday. So I will post the time on Facebook. But again, if you don't subscribe to my channel, you ain't gonna see it. Okay? Because if you're not subscribed to my channel, you won't receive a notification from YouTube telling you that I'm online. Okay? So I don't want you to miss out. And trust me, I'm gonna give you information you ain't never heard before. Because I know some folks in Minneapolis, because y'all know I've lived there off and on for the past 20 years. I've made some phone calls. I've done my homework. Understand? So make sure you in the house for that. Make sure you got your face in the place. You digs? Don't meet me there. Beat me there. You digs? We're going to go ahead and bow out. Thank you for spending time with the Iceman. Thank everybody who donated today. Thank everybody who donated. My man, Hot and Dusty. Hot Dusty 3000. Thank you, brother. Be the Great B. Thank you, brother. Jeremy Binion, I'm watching you, homie. Make sure you break me off this coming Saturday, homie. You digs? Like to thank everybody who got it cracking today. We got some good work done tonight. Got some good game done. We got some good game put out here on these streets. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the Mad Voodoo Man channel, go and do that right now. So you in the place to be come Saturday. I'm out.